Hello dear students. Today we are going to see Study of Animal Architects Part 2. In Part 1 we have studied about the nest construction in spider, that is how the spider web is formed and what the material is used by the spider for constructing the spider web, what is the necessity of constructing a spider web, the types of spider webs, etc, etc. So today we are going to talk about the animal architecture part 2, that is paper wasp. So basically if we look here, let me show you. So these are the paper wasps, just like honeybees. If you have ever seen the honeybees, so similarly they look like, and they are also colonial in behavior. That is, they live in the colony. That there is a queen, worker, and the drone. So similarly here also there are they live in the colony. Okay, so how the paper wasp constructs its nest, that we are going to see. वो अपना घर कैसे बनाती है वो हम देखेंगे. So building material is plant fiber or generally paper. So from where the paper wasp collect its material, कहाँ से वो अपना material collect करती है nest बनाने के लिए. तो the paper wasp chew the wood fibers from the plant, from the trees, fences, cardboard, etc, etc. It will chew the wood fibers. It will be mixed up with the saliva which is present in the mouth of the paper wasp. Saliva के साथ वो mix होगा and the soft paper like pulp will be formed. Okay, as we soak the paper and we make some paper art with the soaked paper, after drying it becomes lighter in weight, right? So similarly this is a wood fiber which will be mixed up with the saliva of the organism, and the pulp will harden into a lightweight papery comb structure. So it will be turned up into a papery lightweight comb structure which will look like this. Now it is made up of, if you look at the nest, it is made up of an open hexagonal. So geometry is what? Open hexagonal. These are the hexagonal. Every cell has same dimensions like a honeycomb, but honeycomb is not that much exposed. It is little bit closer. The dimensions are smaller than the paper wasp nest, but here you can see the open hexagonal cells arranged in a single layer, horizontal comb. So here is a single layer, then another layer. So it is like that, hanging from a stalk called as petiole. So it is hollow inside. It is like a plant part which is a petiole, which is a stalk like part. So they can easily get into it and come out of it easily. So it is like that. Often it is shaped like an umbrella, giving the nickname umbrella wasp. So the other name for the paper wasp is umbrella wasp. They use, because the structure of the paper wasp nest look like an umbrella. That is why the alternative name is what you say, umbrella wasp. Okay, location is generally, you can see it is on the roofs, or under the caves, or under the tree branches, attics, or the wall cavities, at the areas where nobody can reach or nobody can disturb them easily. They prefer the area which is protected from the rain as well as predators. So they will prefer that they get protected from the rain and the predators which are there. Okay, so this is the thing. The first point was, it is made up from the paper pulp or wood fibers which was mixed with the saliva, and then using that they constructed. It is an open hexagonal structure and have a single layer of a cells called as petiole, and it is often called as umbrella wasp because of the shape of the nest. Okay, and where the location is, it is in the attics and other higher areas or the top areas. Okay, now what is the construction process? The queen will start the nest early spring. So usually the queen will start preparing the nest. She will build the petiole and the few initial cells only. Okay, so few initial cells. So in founder is whom? Founder is queen paper wasp. So she will be doing the she will be taking the initiation, and she will be taking the initiative and forming a initial cells. Okay, Now she will lay the eggs into each cell. Queen is generally, the function of queen is reproduction. So the queen will lay the egg into each cell, and when the first worker will hatch, they will take over the charge of the nest building and the care of the larvae, etc., etc. The workers will expand the nest as the colony will grow, and the repairing of the nest, etc., for new cells to be formed as the number of the members increase. Then at that times worker will take that responsibility, and queen will only do the work of reproduction. Okay, so this is the mechanism. Like in case of honeybee, you can you know that the worker and the drones, worker will collect the pollen grains and the nectar and do the other work, whereas queen will only do the reproduction, है ना? So similarly the queen will start building the nest over your initial cells, lay the eggs, and then the charge will go to the worker bees. Now if you talk about a social structure or the maintenance, they are eusocial insects. There is a division of labor, queen versus worker. I have already mentioned over here, that is queen, what queens will do and what worker will repair the damaged parts of the nest and expand the nest as the members of the colony will increase in the number. Okay, the nest will not be reused. In the next season the new queens will start fresh and they will prepare a new nest. So this is how they will do. Fun fact is that, now how, as we have the Google map or we have the GPS system to track the location of any house or to find out the address of any house, but if you talk about paper wasps, they use a chemical markers to recognize their own nest and distinguish intruders. So they can easily come to the same nest even if they go for forage or having a food or water or anything, any purpose they go out of their nest, they can easily reach to their nest original place using a chemical marker they can recognize. Hello dear students, today we are going to talk about one animal behavior or a behavior which is seen in cuckoo bird called as brood parasitism. So we are going to see brood parasitism in cuckoo bird. Let us start. So you might have read this poem in your school times, that cuckoo is a lazy bird, she never builds her nest. She lays her eggs in the other's home, then leaves them all the rest. So similarly, this poem you can pause and read later on. But from these 3-4 lines you come to know that cuckoo is a bird which is lazy is over here, but there might be some other you can say goal or the purpose of laying her eggs into others' home. So let us see why the cuckoo lays her eggs into others nest, okay, other bird's nest, and why does she do so, and other things we are going to see. What is the mechanism? These things we are going to see. So let us see one by one. So what is brood parasitism? That we will understand first. Brood parasitism is a reproductive strategy in which the one species, which is a parasite, will lay the egg into the nest of the other species, which is a host. So the one which is laying the egg into other's nest will be called as parasite, whereas the one who is laying the eggs into the into which the eggs are being laid is called as host. तो जिसके इसमें वो eggs दे रही है उसको host, और जो दे रहा है उसको parasite. Okay, leaving the host to care for its offspring. So after laying the eggs, the cuckoo will not turn back and look for the taking care of the eggs. Okay, she will leave it up to the host to take care of the eggs. The host species often unknowingly, though the host species is unaware that the eggs are of some other bird, and the parasites young, sometime at the expenses of its own. So whatever energy which will be used for the rearing of the eggs and taking care of the eggs will be used up by the host species. So cuckoo जो है, cuckoo is a bird which will be laying her eggs into the other species. This is what is happening over here. That is called as this behavior in the cuckoo bird. We call it as brood parasitism. Now, generally, the host species which are commonly used, preferred by cuckoo bird to lay her eggs are reed warblers, meadow pipits, robins, dunnocks. These are some commonly occurring host species which are used up by the cuckoo bird. The cuckoo prefers these birds' nest to lay her eggs. Okay, so here you can see host, which is a great reed warbler, GRW, and here you can see the reed warbler, which is RW they have shown, and the eggs of both the birds, that is great reed warbler and reed warbler, they are and these are the eggs laid by the cuckoo. This is the egg laid by the cuckoo, and rest are of that original bird, that is a host. So these all are host bird eggs, and one is cuckoo bird egg, and here also this one is cuckoo bird, and other are reed warblers eggs. Okay, so are you able to recognize the difference? No, you will not come to know which is the cuckoo's egg and which is the host egg, that is the green warbler's egg. Okay, आपको पता नहीं चल रहा है कि इसमें से दोनों में से किसका कौन सा egg, because they are morphologically similar. दिखने में दोनों कैसे हैं, similar है, तो इसलिए पता ही नहीं चलता. और इसलिए जो ग्रीन ये वार्बलर है या जो भी होस्ट बर्ड है, तो दे विल कंसिडर कि ये उनका अपना ही एग है, and they will raise that, they will incubate that egg, they will raise the young one, etc, etc. Okay, so let us see why cuckoo exhibits brood parasitism. इसलिए है क्या कि वो lazy है? No. Brood parasitism is a evolutionary survival strategy which will provide several advantages to the parasite. For example, it will save the energy and time. It will, meanwhile, the cuckoo can cuckoo can start with the next reproductive cycle. It can build, it will save the energy cost of building the nest. उसको ready-made घर मिल जाएगा. Incubating the eggs, feeding the chicks, all this task will be performed by the host. So these tasks the cuckoo doesn't have to perform. So it will save her timing and energy, increase reproductive output. So they don't invest in parental care. The parasite can lay more eggs in meantime. So in multiple nests she can put her eggs. So it will increase the reproductive output of the bird, reduce risk. So their own survival isn't threatened by the nest predator, harsh weather, or the failed rearing attempts. So there is a reduced risk that all the eggs will be destroyed if she is keeping in the one nest. Okay, so reduced risk is there. That is why she prefers. It is not that because she is lazy. So it will save her timing, increase the reproductive timings, etc., etc. Now, how it works? So what are the steps involved in the brood parasitism? The step one is selection of the nest. Okay, selection of the nest, in which the female cuckoo species will will spy on the potential host nest, waiting for the right time, usually after the host lays his own egg. So as the thieves do Reiki and find out the all the map of the home and all the thing, and they do the robbery. Similarly, the before selecting a nest, what female cuckoo will do? She will spy, जासूसी करेगी. Okay, जासूसी करेगी कि कौन सा host का nest ऐसे है जहाँ पे नए नए eggs lay किए गए हैं. Okay, for the right time. Usually she will start जब उसको egg laying करना है, तभी से उसके पहले से ही she will start the nest, selecting the suitable nest of the host for laying her eggs. Okay, पहले उसने nest ढूंढा. Egg laying. The cuckoo will lay one egg in the host nest, often removing one of the host egg, so that the number will remain the same and the host will not have any suspect or suspicion. Okay, to avoid suspect or suspicion, what she will do? Host के इसमें अगर 5 अंडे है, if there are 5 eggs in the host nest, then what she will do? She wants to keep the 2 eggs into the host nest, then she will remove the host ka 2 eggs from the nest. So, and removing the 2 eggs of the host, she will put her own 2 eggs, so that the number will remain 5, and the host ka 2 eggs will be destroyed, but her 2 eggs are safe. So in order to avoid the suspect created by the host, what she will do, she will keep, in order to keep the number same, she will remove the host egg and keep her own eggs into the nest. Then comes egg mimicry. Now, while choosing a nest, the cuckoo will make sure that she mimics. Mimicry is a type of art which is seen in case of animals or birds, like they act like each other. The cuckoo's eggs offer mimic the color, and often they mimic the color and the pattern of the host egg to avoid detection and rejection. So she will choose the host egg's color which is similar to her egg color. The female cuckoos specialize in different host species. This is called as genets. Okay, host specific races. Okay, so she will prefer the birds whose egg color and morphology is same as that of her egg color. Okay, so that is called as egg mimicry. Fourth one is hatching and behavior. The cuckoo bird usually hatches earlier than the host chicks and instinctively pushes the host egg chicks out of the nest, monopolize the food and care, and host parent will continue feeding the cuckoo chick unaware of their own. उनको पता ही नहीं है कि वो उनके बच्चे नहीं हैं, फिर भी host is going to raise the young ones of the cuckoo. Okay, now you may have a doubt that how does the host doesn't come to know, or host is not does host is not developing any kind of adaptation to this, to fight this. Okay, so let us see that. So what is the effect on the host bird? So जिसके घर में वो अंडे दे रही है, जिसके नेस्ट में वो एग्स ले कर रही है, उनके ऊपर क्या इफेक्ट होता है? सो उनका रिप्रोडक्टिव सक्सेस जो है तो वो कम होता है, लॉस ऑफ रिप्रोडक्टिव सक्सेस as they raise the chick that isn't theirs. Okay, some of the host species evolve defensive strategy. कोई कोई होस्ट स्पीशीज है जिन्होंने ये बिहेवियर के अगेंस्ट, कुकू के अगेंस्ट, उन्होंने अपना डिफेंसिव स्ट्रेटेजी डेवलप किया है. व्हाट इज एग रिकॉग्निशन एंड रिजेक्शन? सो दे रिकॉग्नाइज देयर ओन एग and they reject the other one which is not theirs, abandoning the parasitized nest. So they avoid such kind of nest in which they find the they find the other type of egg, building new nest over the old ones. They generally construct the new nest over the old one, so they don't prefer the nest in which cuckoo has laid her egg. Okay, if they recognize. So interesting fact is that in spite of cuckoo chick growing much larger than the host parent, they continue to feed her relentlessly, fooled by its begging calls and behavior. So they don't know, the host cannot recognize because the color of the bird is same, the egg color and morphology is same. So even though the young one will hatch out of the egg, the host bird keeps raising them unless and until the calling behavior, the voice is not developed by the cuckoo. Okay, why it is important? What is the biological significance? It shows a co-evolution, because host as well as parasite both are evolving. Because cuckoo is a parasite, she will also find out some nuskhas and some techniques in order to avoid catching up by the host, and host will also try to find out some defense strategies. So it fascinates the scientists to study their behavior, evolutionary patterns, and the parental care which is occurring in them. So it is a nature's phenomena which is really interesting, through which they can study this behavior. Okay, it is really interesting. So this is how cuckoo bird brood parasitism in cuckoo bird occurs. Okay, so this is how she lays her eggs into the other bird's nest, and this is how it happens. Okay, so in order to understand more such interesting animal facts and understand the ethology or the animal behavior, what kind of animal behavior occurs in case of birds, etc., and keep your interest in zoology alive. Stay tuned to Life Science with Veena. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye.